The va. Where's the va at? Find the va. It's on the list here. It's on the board somewhere. It belongs to one of the categories and the characteristics. Glorified. And what do I do with the glorification? Ah. And what happens to my tongue?
Roof.
It rises up. And thus becomes va. Va. Watch out. Don't say za. What's the difference between za and va?
Your
Difference between va, the correct letter, and the wrong way of pronouncing it. Za.
Your tongue is not rising in the.
Huh? No. What do you mean by keeping your tongue inside?
You're not putting it between your teeth.
There you go. You're not touching the teeth. Va, you have your tongue between your teeth. Va. Va. Alright? Za, I'm making the same thing. What about the difference between za and zai?
Say it again.
Z.
Z.
Z and za. The wrong letter saying za wala zalin. God, this is so bad. This is beyond bad. Zalin. What is za and za? One is glorified and one is not. So, do we have a letter za in Arabic? There's a za and there's a va, but there's no za. Even though it's the normal letter pronounced for va, in my Meccan accent, we don't say va. Okay? This is one thing. Second thing. So, the, and va. This is glorified. This is glorified. Right? This is glorified. So from the letters we covered today, 1, 2, 3 letters that are going to get the at the end of it. Right? Right. Well, what else do I want to talk about? Ask any questions, please, if you have. While I'll think of it. Yes, you had a question. Right?
Oh, you said you don't do tha, you do, instead of sa, you do tha. Then
Hold on.
in subhanallah, then is it?
Let's do it. Hold on. Good question. What about this? Here. How do you say it? Sin. Right? Subhan. Han. It's not han. It is not. Subhan. Subhan.
It's cooler air.
No, it's the hotter.
Harder.
Right. It's the hotter. Ha. Ha.
Friction.
More friction. Subhanallah. Okay? It's not subhan. What about subhan? Is it subhan? Ha? That's glorification. It's not. Exactly. Subhanallah. What about Allah? Is it subhanallah? Allah. That's glorified. Actually, this is the only case that Allah, by the way, in here you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters. There's 2 more exception letters. Lam and Ra following. And Ra, it's a whole big lesson that we have to cover just by on Ra because it's very complicated. It's like 7 different situation levels of glorification. But in general, Ra and Ru, or obviously Fatha or Dhamma. Lam is only in one case alone. And it is called Lamul Jalala. And it is also not called Tafkhim. It's called Taghlid. Make it thicker. And this is only place is Allah. Subhanallah, He's Allah, one, and He's the only case where the Lam does this. Okay? Any other letters? Because I was just gonna comment about some of the mistakes that is done, commonly done. So, Va, is it wala dhalin? Wala dhalin. Alright? It is not, thus, it is not wala zalin. There is no za in Arabic. If you pronounce the letter za anywhere, you're making a mistake. Now last week, I sent an email, and I don't know how many received the email. MashaAllah, well, there should be a lot more on the list. Now, did you do the homework by any chance? I specifically asked. I asked in the homework that you go through Surah Al-Fatiha and find the letters of Al-Halq, the throat letters. And now I'm going to tell you to go through Al-Fatiha and the last 3 surahs also, and go and find these letters. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this for specifically, so that you can go through this and look at it and say, is it the ha with the heat? Or is it a ha with the cooler air? Alhamdulillah, is it a ha or is it al ha? Which one? If you had learned the surah wrong all of your life, you need to go back and relearn it. And the first thing you need to do is by visual. You have to visually correct. It is a ha, not a ha. It is a dal, not a dha, or not a za. الذين أنعمت عليهم الذين ذا. Alright, so this is it. Any other questions?
With the tha and ta, I mean zal.
Tha and dhal.
Zal means your tip is coming out a little bit.
Tip is barely coming out. You can see it. If I'm looking at it, I see it, but I don't be there.
Not
I'm not
but that's right.
making
I
fun
mean,
of you. No,
saying
it's-
in that way.
You have to see it. If you don't see it, that means it's still too far inside. You're not pronouncing the letter correctly. And then you're going to mix the two. Tha and ta is going to fix in the same place, and that's what you end up saying theory rather than theory. Right? The world versus the word. Da. See, the, if you pull that, let me ask you this. The exit of the letter. If I take that, this is the exit of ba. You know, by the way, I should really, if I draw a picture like this now, you should tell me what is this letter. Huh? Look at it.
No. Za.
Watch out, don't say za. Ra, right? What if I go ahead and do this?
No, it's nothing. Just kidding.
That's a mute.
Yeah.
Or
Da.
dal.
Dal.
Right? It's either ta or dal.
Da.
Okay? Right. So
What about ta?
good. What about ta?
Rise up again. Yeah.
Right? That's ta. Okay. Now one more thing. If I wanted to pronounce, let's take this back here, and I'm going to put situation A versus situation B, or position A versus position B. And my tongue was here. Now why am I even not? Okay? What am I pronouncing here? In blue. And?
No. Da. Da. Dal.
Come on, pronounce it correctly. Da and Dal. Thank you. All right. So it is da and dal. Right? What happens when I pull it back?
But you gotta take the tip of it a little bit out so that it's a little
All
obvious.
right. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's put it a little bit out. All right. There, I can see it right now. I'm looking right here. There's my eyes right here looking at it. I can see it, man. Okay?
Yes.
What if I pull it back a little bit? I'm going to get 2 letters. Right? Just think about it. I push it back in, and I erase 1 dot. Right? If I say right? Pull your tongue bit inside. You're gonna get ad. Put it inside. Ad.
So it's not the front of your tongue, it's still the tip of your tongue.
It's the tip. Yes, very tip. That's why I said tip. And front. This is front because the pressure. Look at the when you say